Welcome back. So, on the 16th of February this year, Noko Selepe, a principal from Primrose Primary School in Germiston, was shot by a pupil. The grade 6 pupil shot Selepe in the stomach after he was reprimanded and told that his father would be called into the office due to his behaviour. Selepe returned to work at that school last week after months of recovery. Well, we sat down with him to find out about that horrific day in February. Elizabeth, thank you so much for giving us your time. Do show me around.
Yes, this is the passage where the incident happened. And apparently the boy was coming from my office looking for me. And I was in the bathroom. And I don't know whether to say fortunately or unfortunately, as I walked out of the bathroom, the boy was just walking out. But he had the footsteps. Then he turned back.
Right here?
Right here. Then I was standing here. Then I asked him to say, what do you want here? Because I said to you, you cannot come into the staff room. We are waiting for your parent. The boy didn't even utter a word. He just pulled a gun out. Then because it was a bit dark, because there was unplanned load shedding, I couldn't see whether the gun was a real gun or it was a toy gun. I kept on looking at him. Then I asked him again to say, what do you want in the office? Because you are not supposed to be in here. Then I can see him now pointing the gun at me. As he pointed the gun at me, he closed one eye. Then I started to think, yes, he was aiming at me, closing one eye. But I said, is it a real gun or a toy gun? Then when he started to put it on, I just heard it say, then I say, this is the real gun. Because you can hear, this is, the real gun. And the way he was aiming at me, after he set the gun on, I just began praying, because I can see that whatever I will say won't change his mind. He has concluded that he's going to shoot me. Then, all of a sudden, I just felt that I should dive this way. And that's when the first bullet missed me on my shoulder. Then I hit the wall. When I tried to regain the balance, then the second bullet went through my stomach. Then I was on this floor.
You said you pretended to be dead when you hit the floor?
Yes, yeah. When I hit the floor, I saw him moving towards me. Then I realized that he wanted to shoot me at close range now. Then I was looking at him, and I pretended to be dead. And as he was walking, then he put the gun, the bullet ready again, and he came closer to me. I was lying on the floor. Then he pointed at me like this. At the same time, he was looking whether I'm moving, or, he wanted to see if I'm still alive or not. Then he looked at me. He wanted to pull a trigger again. But at that time, I was praying to say, God, just save my life. Then after praying, then the boy just turned and walked away. And what surprises me is that, you see, if, a child of that age, after pulling, shooting twice, he should feel afraid.
He wasn't.
He wasn't. You can see it's something that he used You know.
You say, Principal, that he came to shoot 2 other teachers.
Yes. He came to shoot the deputy as well as the class teacher. And when they were there in the quad, he wanted to shoot them, but his friend was holding him with, a jersey to say, not now. Now, the HOD had them when the other boy said, not now. Then he did not know what they were talking about. Only to find that at that time, he wanted to shoot the 2 people, the deputy and the class teacher. But the other boy stopped him from shooting. Now, he realized that because he couldn't start that way, he thought of coming to start with me in the office before he goes back. Because, I said to myself, I need to save my colleagues. Because after he moved out, I thought maybe he's going to continue with this work, to shoot others. Then once he went out of the staff room door, then I cried for help. Then one of the administrators came running. I said, please, just use the intercom. Tell all the people to lock all the doors, because I've just been shot by Elena. So as he was approaching towards the classrooms, he heard the intercom saying, please lock all the doors, whatever. There is a boy who's having a gun, who's just shot the principal. Then he just turned and he jumped the fence and he started running away. And as he ran out, he was seen by these transporters who are packing outside. Because they had a gunshot inside. They quickly figured out that it's this boy, because he was still holding a gun like this.
In the street?
Yes. They realized that this is the boy who was shooting in the office. Then they start chasing the boy. And the security company joined.
Sure.
And that's how we got arrested.
What does it feel like to walk down these passages again on a daily basis?
A lot of work, happened in the hospital, where I got psychological help. The counselors used to come to my room, talk to me about what happened, and as I was opening up, they also gave me, more information to say, how best can I cope when I come back? And most importantly, is that when I was at the hospital, I reflected a lot. And I realized that, it's just an innocent child, a 13-year-old child. Though I don't know what happened, what caused him to do that, but I just feel that this boy, he did this because of certain circumstances. Remember, the home environment counts a lot. I don't know what is happening at home, but for sure, all the kids that have behavioral problems, there is something that is causing that from home, from the home situation. For an example, the child had access to the gun. The child was trained to use a gun, because the way he was operating a gun, you can see the boy's been rehearsing. And the question is, who was teaching the child how to use a gun?
Talk to us about what the recovery process has been, not just physically, but certainly being back in these corridors.
Yeah, my recovery was a very tough journey. However, through the support of the district, especially the district director, former district director, Nonqeba Tuta, the MEC of Education, they used to come to the hospital to come see me. And not forgetting my wife. My wife has been supportive throughout. Though the issue traumatized her together with, my kids. But she has been a pillar of strength to me.
I want to talk a little bit about the charges at the moment. You've got a 13-year-old boy who was facing attempted murder charges. His father also appearing in court. Your thoughts when you saw those images and what it said to you about what we've done wrong as a society, right? I mean, would you want this boy to serve time?
It is not up to me to decide. However, I feel for the boy because he can still be rehabilitated quickly and, being taken to the classroom and, so that teachers can craft, a brighter future for this boy. Personally, I wouldn't love to see the boy serving a sentence because I still feel that he's a very young boy. The future is still bright. We can still correct that boy and, as long as that boy is under a good care so that he doesn't continue with the bad behavior in the next school where he's going. So it means we need to correct the environment that triggers this. Then that boy will be corrected and that boy will have a brighter future. Because as a principal, I always wish, that all my kids become better people.
Yeah, you almost lost your life, principal. Who should be held accountable in your view?
Yes, the boy should be held accountable, but I think
The father?
maybe, and the father, especially the father, because remember, the boy managed to have access to the gun. And there is a strict law. When you own a gun, there is a specific way where you are supposed to keep it away from the kids.
Yeah, Principal, let me ask you this. One of the things that came out of this incident as well is that then the conversation was sparked. Are we at a point where we need to be searching our children as they come onto the school property? Is that something that you've started doing?
Not now, because remember there are procedures in terms of the safety policy. You don't just wake up the next morning and you decide to search the child. And usually there are random searches that we organize with the adopt a cop. We've got a policeman who's assigned to the school. And they'll do the random search at a particular time if we suspect something. However, after the incident happened, I feel if the department can just provide schools with the metal detectors so that you don't physically search the child. You just check on the child that there are no heavy metal that the child is carrying, just to prevent that from happening, because you don't want another principal or a teacher or a learner for that matter to be shot. Because remember that gun, if it happens that a child, innocent child was shot at school, I was going to carry the responsibility to say, how did the gun enter the school? All those logistics.